Hello, welcome to my Patreon channel, and today I have prepared for you one of my favorite topics, which is relationships. And we're gonna look at what certain signs are more likely to experience, actually looking especially from the ascendant or moon sign, but I focus on the ascendant, but you can also use the moon sign, that certain themes will happen in their life, even without knowing anything else in the life of someone. For example, if you know that someone is Aries rising, you can say with a bit of certainty that those people can actually remarry the same partner. To marry the same partner once, marry the same partner twice. I'll tell you why. Or if someone has Taurus rising, they're more likely to meet someone abroad or a foreign partner. I'll tell you why as well. There is certain combinations, certain for every single ascendant or moon sign. Just by knowing the ascendant or moon sign, you can give like a prediction which is probably 60% likely to happen, which is very big percentage, 60, let's say 70%, because I've seen it repeat constantly over and over in people with the same ascendant, and there is logic behind it. You don't have to learn about each ascendant, you have to remember the logic to reach your own conclusions. So this is a very different type of relationship advice that will give you, something that you probably haven't heard before, and that is very different and unique. So how are we going to look? We're going to look at each of the 12 signs, and you know that always, and because we're taking the ascendant sign, so you need to know your time of birth, place of birth, the minute, the hour, to know your, at least your ascendant, if you don't know the exact degree, but the ascendant sign or the moon sign, because the moon is how we bond with others. If you don't know your time of birth, you can check the moon sign or check both for extra details, because the moon is the relationship planet, because with the moon we respond with others, especially even in the older you get in age, after 50, ancient sources say you start using your moon as their ascendant. You start using the moon as your because you're not so longer so strongly identified with the physical body after 50, which is the ascendant. And because the second part of your life, the ascendant is pretty much what affects you from previous lifetimes, what is set in stone, or the influence of your ancestors, whatever you've come here with your body. So that would be parental, ancestral influence. And pretty much by nowadays, by 40, 50, you have worked yourself out of the conditioning. Some people never work themselves out of the conditioning, but you've broken a lot of conditioning patterns and family patterns and things that were you didn't have choice for. This is the ascendant, what you're born with, what you're given, while the moon is how you see it now. So you can check from your moon sign and from your ascendant sign. The moon is how you perceive reality right now. So after 50, the very ancient Vedic sources say after 50, look at the horoscope from the moon sign only. I would say way before that. And they do it even for young children, looking at the moon sign, because the moon is your soul. So check the ascendant and the moon is especially very relevant for relationships, so is the ascendant. So as you can see, whatever your ascendant or moon sign is, there is an opposite sign, which is your relationship house. And we can say so much about what kind of partner you'll be with just by looking at the sign of the seventh house. And this video will especially be helpful for people who have no planets in the seventh house. So many people come and say, I have nothing in the seventh house, I'll never marry, I'll never have a partner, I'll never have relationship. Not at all. The sign then will become the predominant description. The sign on this seventh house opposite your ascendant or moon becomes the predominant description of your partner, and the planet, of course, that rules it. But if there is a planet in your seventh house, some of the things I'll be telling you will also be true, but they will be secondary, because the planet in the seventh house from ascendant sign or from moon always takes precedence over the sign itself. The sign it works as well, but as a secondary manifestation. But this video will be particularly helpful for those who don't have planets in the seventh, or for extra details for those who have planets. So, but there is another interesting thing that we'll look at, because very often for almost all the signs except for Capricorn and except for Aquarius rising, so Capricorn, Aquarius rising, they're exception, but everyone else has the planet that rules their seventh house rule also another house using traditional astrology. So even the ancient texts, they would see it and they would say that, which means that these two houses that are ruled by the same planet are mixed together. So let's start with Aries for you to see it. So it's mixed together. For example, for Aries, the seventh house is Libra. Venus rules Libra, but Venus also rules Taurus, which is the second house for Aries, which means that the relationships for Aries and their partners will have a strong connection to their finances. Somehow their partner will change once they get married or once they enter business partnership. Seventh house is also that. Or collaborate with someone to do something, a project or something. Because you see Aries rising, you think, oh, they should always want to do things alone. But actually, money is connected to their relationships. The same planet rules money and relationships for them. It's one similar team, which means that if they combine with another, after all, they have Libra in the seventh house. Aries are not those lone warriors, Aries rising people that you think. Actually, the more they partner, the better their self-worth. The second house means self-worth, how much you value yourself, how much others value, how much your value is in the world, how many assets you attract, you create, the abundance that you have, the resources that you have access to or that you create. But those will be so strongly affected by partnerships. So if you're in a situation that you're financially low, or stuck situation, if you're Aries rising or Aries moon, even partner, collaborate with someone, get married. Of course, if Venus, the planet that rules both the second and the seventh, is poorly aspected, your finances might go for the worst with partnerships. But somehow, through relationships, your finances will be so affected. And it can even mean that Aries will more likely than others marry someone who stabilizes their finances. After all, Taurus is the second house, the same planet that rules the seventh house. Not only stabilize it, but make them more secure in their life through partnering with others, personal or business partnerships. And also, they can make more money after marriage, or partnerships based on, they can also be more likely to have partnership based on similar second house things. So they'll probably like similar foods, or what will connect them to someone to make partnership or to feel attracted to someone even can be mutual love for certain foods or for certain most sensual pleasures. And you'll be like, oh, Aries, not like really like that, but the second house connects Aries to their partnerships, foods, beautiful views, luxurious experiences, so similar taste in music. Second house rules all of those things. And very strong Aries person might be really drawn to a partner that likes specific type of music, that eats specific type of food, that drinks specific kind of drinks, or likes drinking or putting the same similar things. They might be joining their partner through what they love to put in their body. It might be substance, it might be food, whatever it is, but there might be this connection there for Aries. But usually Aries is the sign that is more likely than others to find attractive partners. Venus rules their seventh house. Libra is the most beautiful sign. And I know some of you can say no, but it's the most harmonious. So Aries is the sign more likely to attract a more attractive partner, marriage partner, or people around them who are also financially more stable. Interesting enough. Also, if they're having problem attracting a partner, maybe they should first work on their financial state, because the same planet rules it. You activate the house of one of the, if things are not working here for you in your Aries rising or moon, and you're like, I want a partner, it's not working. first make sure that your financial if the relationships are your problem, then first make sure your financial situation is arranged. I'm not saying that you should be rich or something, that it's in good order, that you feel comfortable. And then very likely, if this is in order, you, because the same planet rules it, you'll attract the right partner as well. Or uh, second house rules the teeth. Why not fix your teeth if you're having problem finding a partner? Here immediately we find the connection and a remedy. It works, guys. Or if you don't have problems with your teeth, then the finances here. Or if you're eating a horrible unhealthy diet, then second house again, what diet you have. Change something with your diet. Do it more healthy, more natural. Taurus is the most natural sign. Take your diet as to more natural and organic sources as possible. This again can immediately improve your relationships. But somehow, for Aries will know that they'll be connected in their partnerships through money. Their financial situation will change. They even through food, to similar tastes. And interestingly enough, the second house rules the second marriage as well. So for Aries, why is the second house the second marriage? First marriage is the seventh house, but all marriages are always described by qualities of the seventh house as well, and all partnerships overall. But for more specifics, to see second, third partner, you count 8 signs from the seventh. 8 is the death of, so the death of the first marriage leads to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the second marriage. The death, 8th house is death and rebirth. So the death of the first relationship leads to the rebirth of the second one, and it's in the second house. For everyone, always the second marriage, you look at from the second house. And for Aries rising or moon people in particular, again, the same planet rules the second marriage. So this is one of the rare positions, someone with Aries rising who can, their first marriage, they can marry someone and then remarry the same partner. Or sometimes it's not necessary to marry, but they can date someone, break up with them, and then get back together, because long-term partnership we're considering, not just sleep with someone and then get back together years later, but you have a long-term relationship with someone, and then it goes back to the same partner again. The seventh and the second is the same. The second partner can also be but there's both partners have the sweetness to them. First, second marriages, generally partnerships for Aries carry this sweetness of Venus, this attractiveness. And of course, if you want to attract partners, go to more beautiful, rich environments. Venus rules your seventh house, more enjoyable. All right. Then we go to Taurus rising or moon. As you can see, just from the sign opposite, we can say a lot that their relationships will be more tumultuous. Scorpio rules their seventh house. Taurus rising, you think, those people are pillars of stability, Taurus rising or Taurus moon. But especially the first marriage can be quite tumultuous for them, because Mars rules it naturally. Scorpio, they can be a bit more, they can be very sexual. Their partners they'll be looking for sexy partners, very attractive, but also not the easiest. And they can be very steamy but conflict prone relationships. It is Mars ruled the seventh house. This is something that Taurus rising, look around you, you see that they have a pattern of steamy sexual relationship but conflict prone, or partners that are a bit more controlling or more complex in character. My mom is Taurus rising, so I know my dad. He's definitely they will not be Scorpios most often. The partners in your life, but there will be this quality to most of your relationships. But let's see what other house Mars rules for Taurus. It's the 12th. So we combine the meaning of the 7th house partnerships with the meaning of the 12th house, and that will be a theme for Taurus rising, to some extent Taurus moon as well. There is a secretiveness. There is a possibility more for secret, passionate, romantic relationships. So as we call it, affairs, because the 12th house rules hidden affairs. 12th house is the 6th from the 7th. The 7 is marriage or committed partnerships. The 6 from anything is enemy of the marriage or whatever it is. So enemy of the marriage is a lover. So there is a possibility with Taurus moon or Taurus ascendant. It doesn't mean everyone who is Taurus moon and Taurus ascendant will have affairs, but there's a more bigger likelihood, though their partners can have affairs. They're just meant to experience. The same planet rules the hidden house and the equal partnership house. And especially if this planet is hurt, so we're talking about Mars. If you see Mars in a painful aspect or whatever, at least once in their life there can be some betrayal, or they can have some hidden affair or something like that. But usually also it can mean that for the marriage, 7th house, it's a very private, almost sacred affair. They're not going to be very public with their relationships. You see, they're more private, hidden. The same planet rules the 7th and the 12th house. Almost they experience marriage more like a private, deeply private, confidential affair. And business partnerships and any kind of one-on-one relationships, they'll find them very confidential, very private and secretive, you know. And they might have private secret alliances, maybe not in sex. So say you have your husband, Taurus rising, you're like, hey, he must have affairs because the same planet that rules his 7th rules his 12th. But you don't take into consideration that maybe he's in some kind of business where he's forming private alliances in business. So he's using that 7th house not for private secret sexual affairs, but for private business alliances of some sort. Or maybe he's some kind of psychologist who privately consults people and keeps their secrets. Or maybe he's some kind of a healer, 12th house. Your partner, when Taurus is the rising or the moon, can be either works with confidential information, can be a spy, can be a healer, can be we combine the 7th and the 12th, can be someone who is dealing with, maybe works overseas, or maybe works in shipping, in, you know, something to do with water, 12th house, with foreign lands, with foreign investments. That can be, if Mars, the ruler of your 7th house for Taurus, is well aspected, you know, usually the partner of Taurus will be like someone who is cheater and hidden, but there will be someone who deals with 12th house careers. And very often Tauruses might have relationships with foreigners. Look at that. This interesting Taurus rising. 12th house is someone from faraway places. So someone from that is like a foreign to them. Might be a different state, a different religion, might be different, or they might be from the same state, but a different color, different ethnicity. Something that others would think, oh, this is not compatible, you know, but it's something that is more, let's say, unfamiliar. So that's why we say usually foreigners, people with different ethnicity, race. So Taurus is one of the signs more likely to meet someone abroad, or while they're traveling to faraway places. So their partner to be from abroad, or to be from some very different religion, or, you know, kind of lifestyle as well. They can be more likely to also to be someone who is connected to arts, to healing fields. 12th house rules the arts, the healing fields, and so on. It's kind of more, you know, imaginative people of some sort. But their partners are usually steamy. These are strongly sexualized relationships that Taurus have, because Scorpio or Mars rules the 7th house. And one last thing for Taurus rising or Taurus moon, they often have karmic relationships. 12th house rules past life, immediate past lifetimes, the ones that are most closely on the surface of your subconscious, that influence the current life the most. So some unfinished story. That's why often their relationships for Taurus rising people, even though you say, oh, Taurus, such a boring sign, they have some of the steamiest relationships with the Scorpio in the 7th house, and the same planet that rules Scorpio rules the 12th house of past life affairs, past life connections. So there is something karmic that they're completing there, that they're solving, of someone having to give something to the other to, you know, to complete someone, or almost like one giving more to the other, because the 12th house energy is about that as well. But it can be almost like a soulmate connection as well. But I just want to tell to Taurus rising people, second marriage is ruled by Gemini, which is much calmer sign than Scorpio. And the sign and the same planet that rules it rules a good house rules the 5th house from Taurus, the other planet, Mercury. So it can be almost like second marriages for Taurus generally can be more friendly, rather than the first ones will be definitely memorable and the first long-term relationships in life. Till we've learned that Scorpio 12th house energy lesson. And then you move to more friendly, breezy, very different actually for Taurus rising. They can have super different marriage, the second from the first. Like Aries, it's the opposite. Remember, Aries, the same planet rules the first and the second marriage. So they might either marry even the same person or someone that's very similar to their first spouse. While Taurus rising, the first one might be broody and intense and karmic, and one of those. Just think of that energy. Second one might be, oh, we're friends, much lighter, breezier, not as intense, but maybe Taurus would enjoy that second energy more. Maybe they'll keep missing the crazy one with hidden secrets and so on. All right. So, and remember why second marriage is the second house, because it's the 8th from the 7th. Now, if you are Gemini rising, let's see, of course, Gemini have a very benevolent sign on the 7th house, or Gemini moon. They have Sagittarius. Unless, of course, you have Saturn there in Sagittarius or some other crazy planet, that, of course, the planet overpowers the sign. But generally speaking, most Gemini rising would marry, and their life partner, especially the first life partner and business partners overall in life, will be open-minded people. They might be foreigners as well, because Sagittarius is someone foreign, or if it's not foreign, someone well-traveled, well-educated, open-minded, benevolent, positive. I always think of Father Christmas when I think Sagittarius. So someone they can, kind of more spiritual in some way, like a teacher to them. This is the Sagittarius energy. But Gemini are more likely to have a foreign partner, for example, because Sagittarius in the 7th house. But what does also Jupiter rule? The ruler of the 7th house. It also rules the 10th house. So Gemini is one of those signs, if you're Gemini rising, who can marry up an authority figure. They can marry their boss, the 10th house, or they can marry someone they meet in higher places in the world, to look up, someone with more authority and so on. They can also, once they get married or in a committed relationship, Gemini are more likely to prosper with their career, or to have some big important developments and changes with their career. Their marriage will really change their social status. Or the other way around, we can see. If things are not working, you're Gemini rising or Gemini, moon, you can't find a partner, but you have a good career. So you focus on the career, and the same planet that rules the career rules the partnerships. Very likely would actually meet your long-term relationships in your career, through your career, people in high office, or you'd meet them in places, or you'd meet them somehow through the work that you do, or you can even do a business together with your partner. Gemini, more likely, my best friend is Gemini rising, and they created a business together with her husband. Business, career, 10th house, 7th house, partnership. And their partner, and she says, I'm a wife of a businessman, even though she's the deputy of the town, But her partner is also high up there. The partner, the ruler of the 7th, Jupiter, is also ruler of the 10th, someone who is in visible positions and, respected in society and so on. So Gemini here, more likely to marry someone with social status. So once they get married, the social status can start once they're in a settled relationship. Or if they don't want to get married, they need to form some business partnership. business partnership, or have some equal, someone who is their equal, who will help them, maybe like an agent. So say you're an actor, Gemini rising, you're like, I don't want to get married to succeed in my career. I say then find the seventh house, find an advisor or an agent, someone who is your equal, who can represent you. And especially because Sagittarius is there, this person, Sagittarius is a very promoting sign. This person, whether it's an agent or whatever, will pull your career upwards as well. Have someone tout your good qualities. And I've also noticed often with my friends with Gemini rising is that they often receive high positions or get promotions or their career takes off because someone liked them, not sexually necessarily. Someone, for example, it might be someone that another equal person, and they recommend another person. Seventh house is another person. Another person says, like, just two friends I know, because of people that knew them and they thought good of them, they were promoted, they were given much higher positions. So somehow others are your agents that will influence your growth and your career a lot. So partner or be nice and good to people. Gemini usually quite nice and good to people because Sagittarius is there, quite open to people. That's why Gemini love people, because Sagittarius is the most positive, optimistic, and happy-go-lucky sign, rules their relationships house. But yeah, reach out also to foreigners as well, or people in high positions. They'll think good of you and they always help you. This is your strength, Gemini. This is the connection between 7th and 10th house. Let's see. Developing their career and status can help them finding a partner. We said that. They can marry their social superior, or book for partners, or they can look for partners in higher social status. Yes, they can meet partner in connection to their career. All right. And also though, because from the 7th house, the ruler of the 7th goes into the 4th, into 1, 2, 3, the 4th from, if this becomes the ascendant of the partner, is the same planet that rules the 7th house. Also, this partner will be home focused. It's not just career there. This partner is also family focused, because the planet that rules them also rules their 4th house. I hope you understood it. The planet that rules your partner also rules their 4th house. Your 10th, so your career and social status can grow, but the partner's 4th, so often someone family oriented as well. Okay. Gemini, if they reach up to second marriage, for example, that can be more Cancerian in energy. So more family oriented, more moody, maybe emotional, and you have to look, do you have good planets in Cancer? Then go ahead to a second marriage. But if you have Saturn there or Mars, it will be too steamy, too emotional, resentments and so on. But if there is like nice energy there, the moon, some nice planet like Venus, it can be very sweet and nice, because Cancer is a gentle sign. But it can be definitely more focused on family, can be focused more on guardianship, on land, on real estate, and so on, the second marriage. All right. For Cancer, moon or rising, especially rising, you see that the 7th house of Cancer is ruled by Capricorn. Immediately, Cancers are some of the Cancer rising people, to lesser extent Cancer moon, but also very strong. They can marry someone with age difference. Sometimes they can be 7 or more years younger, 7 or more years older. They usually prefer more authority or someone more established. And they would often attract, especially for their first marriage partner, someone who is a senior to them, someone who is very responsible, someone who is more focused on traditions, on upkeeping the social status, someone who is, but also financially established. Why do Cancer rising people, Cancer moon, look for people with finances, you'd ask, who is financially established? Because the same planet that rules the 7th house rules the 8th house. The 8th house is the money of the partner. So they usually get attracted and they get married, or they partner with in business partnership with someone who is financially savvy. The same planet rules the money of the partner and the partner. They identified with that. And hopefully, if Saturn is in good situation, this person will be able to organize their finances and the eighth house is the mutual finances of the couple, whether it's a business partnership or a marriage partnership. And somehow, once they get married, their mutual finances stabilize or start slowly growing. It is Saturn, after all, that rules their eighth house as well. Slowly growing, but stably, slowly but stably, securely. And they would often prefer someone who they can, who is uh, who's strongly identified with security, strongly identified with their family. Second house is family as well. So the family of the partner. So you might the first marriage or someone that is like quite involved in the family. You might end up being quite involved in the family of your partner as well. And the family of the partner is important for them. He's invested, not your family that you create. It's his original family, his parents, and so on. But also someone who can come from more money or offer more stability and money. And if Cancer doesn't have that, it's not the good partner. It's especially if the first marriage partner doesn't give them the security, stability, or ability for them to grow their mutual finances together. Maybe that's not the right partner. But it is what it is. And also, when the ruler of the first is connected, the ruler of the seventh is the same planet as the ruler of the eighth. They can Eighth house is pregnancy. So sometimes they can marry because of a pregnancy. We're not talking about business. Our business partnership, they can marry because the business partner can contribute, or not marry, but they can get into business partnership because someone has finances, resources, they can contribute to the business. And that's what Cancer is. That's how they made up, and it's supposed to be in this way. But also, they can meet someone partner privately. There's this eighth house hidden. The ruler of the seven and the eight is hidden. It's the same planet in the eighth house is hidden. So there is this secretiveness there as well. Someone who is a confidant, like a psychologist to them. But there is often a bit more aloof partner who is very committed. And often there are not divorces if you're Cancer rising. If divorce happens and a second marriage is to come, usually, so let me give you an example. Meghan Markle, first marriage, she was married once, Capricorn was there. I don't know why they separated. Maybe her Saturn, I don't remember, was in Libra, but yeah, something happened. They divorced. I think she has Ketu in Capricorn in the seventh house, or very close to the seventh house cusp, which is karmic contract complete. Second marriage, bam, Leo. Second marriage is 8 from 7th. The end of one, the rebirth of the new one. The death of the first marriage, the rebirth of the new one. Who does she marry? Royalty. So Cancer rising, if they reach to a second marriage, they can be Leo qualities there. There will be a lot more fun, glamour, but more drama as well. It is Leo. While the first marriage is way more low-key, stability, financial reasons. Second marriage, there's Leo qualities. Either the person might be, and it's second marriage is usually falling in love a lot for Cancer. Rising Cancer moon, that's if they truly, Leo is the sign of being in love, but also might be someone who is too much in the spotlight, or but Leo has its downsides, egocentric and so on, but it can be also a lot of fun. Okay, so that's for Cancer rising. What if you're a Leo rising? So remember, Cancer rising usually older, mutual finances, family here, of the spouse important. Leo rising or moon. What are their partnerships like? Well, as you can see, they have Aquarius on the seventh house. They'll tell you that since Aquarius is a sign of sudden changes and divorces, that often Leo rising have divorces. I've seen the same as with other signs, to be honest. But I have seen that they usually prefer the partner, and they usually attract partner who is, because the ruler of the seventh house is the same as the ruler of the sixth house, Saturn. Partner who is somehow in a helping position. So the Leo person is in the spotlight and they find a spouse who is maybe in the background but helps them with the work. They can work together as well because the sixth house of work for Leo is the same planet that rules the seventh house of partner. So, for example, I have a friend who is Leo rising. She meets her husband in at her work where she works and he's the client. So again, somehow the relationships is connected, and the first marriage, or usually also most important relationships, you meet them somehow at work or connected through your work, or you might be working together, or you might marry someone who works for you. Six houses like the secretary who is helping you, someone you're a manager over. So you'd see this more often with Leo rising than other times. Or someone who is not almost like your equal, because the seventh house, it doesn't mean you treat them badly if you're Leo rising, but the seventh house is the same planet rules as the sixth house. Sixth house is like someone either with a bit lower social status than you, or financial status, or maybe not at the same level professionally as you. And I'm not saying you marry a charity case, but there is, if Saturn is more hurt, it can be someone that is in some way a charity case. But usually it might be Leos who almost marry someone who is like a manager behind the scenes for them, who arranges their career, or their, like my brother's wife is Leo rising, and she, first of all, with her first husband, they worked together. They had a dental clinic. So always the first marriage partner for Leos, it can be someone that you work together with, someone that you have business together with, or someone who is almost like your client as well, or someone who is themselves workaholic a bit, and someone who is works a lot, or I hope I don't repeat myself too much. But the partner usually has some organizational ability. Six houses like Virgo. So when the ruler of the seven and the six is the same, your partner will have some Virgo-ish qualities. Not necessarily that they'll be Virgo, but they might be the organization behind your business, or in the house, or for your career, or the manager role, but more on the background, in the helping position. And even the second and third husbands of this Leo lady, I told you Leos don't get married much, but some do. Even the second, the third husbands, she was the main business person, and they were like in those kind of supporting yet managerial behind the scenes roles, organizing. The sixth house is like the details, because Leo is a glamour sign, doesn't want to deal with those details, with the boring stuff. I'm Leo moon. What can I tell? So, someone who, my husband does exactly that. He does the taxes, the finances, and I'm the star where I can shine. So someone in a helping position, in a sense, someone who is more emotionally detached a bit as well. Or you can just marry someone who works in medical field. Sixth house is that as well. The ruler of the seven is equal to the sixth. Like this Leo, whose husband was, a dentist, or someone who is in the helping positions, or someone who is in kind of sixth house careers of some sort. Or someone, or in your relationships, you might be working together on some health issues. On worst case scenario, it can be someone who has health issues, because 6 and 7 get together. Or in best case scenario, can be someone who, as a partner, you together, and is supportive to you to change your health. Actually, for Leos, if they want to change their health, Leo rising, Leo moon, they're good to do it either with someone who is their equal partner, but also like a health expert to them, because they need the support, the partnership, the equal advice, but also six houses. How do you take care of your health? So maybe it would be better for them to work out in pairs with a partner for motivation, to to give them this sixth house energies that comes to them through partnerships, which is more healthy lifestyle, more awareness about health. So their partnerships, they will work, quite a few Leos, on issues like health habits, especially in the first important health marriage. Uh, but usually, yeah, they also are good to find managers who behind the scenes will arrange their stuff. And yeah, we talked about that. Why am I repeating myself? Second marriages for Leo, it comes to that, or long-term relationships where you buy a house together or have a child together. It's going to be with more Virgo-ish energy. It's again, actually, it's not so, it's Aquarius is a distant sign, so it's Virgo. But it rules Virgo. The other is the 11th house. There can be more connection of friendships in second marriage there. Because the same planet that rules the second marriage, which is the second house, rules the 11th house. And someone who is very career more successful because it's the 10th from the second, someone in higher social status. But in particular, if you have a second marriage for Leos or marriage like relationship, it can really impact your social life, the 11th house. Maybe you have some mutual goals together, but also mutual circle of friends that you are, and your circle will change, your social circle a lot through second marriage, Leos. Now, Virgos. Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. Sorry, but without sun, moon, or especially rising. You have Pisces on your seventh house. And immediately, Pisces is a sign of something unfamiliar, foreign, from far away. Virgo is a sign more likely than others, Virgo Ascendant in particular, and to some extent Moon, to marry someone who is very foreign to their culture, to their social background, different race even, different language, different religion in some way. But also someone who will be family oriented, because the ruler of the seventh is also the ruler of the fourth. And oftentimes, the first marriage or the primary relationships for Virgo rising people can be motivated for the need for emotional stability and creating a family. This can be one of the big motivators. And often they would pair up for the purpose of creating a family. And because the very beneficial planet rules their seventh house, Jupiter, usually the partner will be family oriented. They'll have similar kind of also belief systems, because it's a planet of beliefs, Pisces, that will keep them together. It's not necessarily an indication of divorces when Jupiter rules your seventh house, but it's, of course, there might be some harmful influences here. You might have Mars in Pisces, or you might have Saturn or Uranus, and that will totally change the picture if you're Virgo rising. But if you have nothing, usually, the first marriage family oriented, might be even with foreigners because of the Pisces influence, but someone who is also family oriented, but also very invested in their career, because the same planet that rules your seventh house, the partner, also rules their 10th house. So if you put the partners here beginning, the planet that rules them, Jupiter, also rules their 10th house. For you it's the fourth, but for the partner is the 10th. So someone who is family oriented but also invested in their career. So someone with status. So Virgo is a sign and because Jupiter is the planet giving the status and the partner, someone with elevated, respected, so again, they can marry up, but also especially for purposes of, and once they marry up, they can have big properties, Sagittarius in their seventh house, because it's connected to marriage. Or if they haven't been able to marry it yet, but they have financial ability, they should create a beautiful home first, and this will attract the partner to them because they're connected. They can invite someone in their home. When they want to impress a partner, they should invite them to their home, court them there in their home, cook them a homemade meal, show them your, this will immediately activate the relational vibration in you as well. But also, even though the partner is strongly identified with their career for Virgo rising or moon purple, they also have strong resemblance to your own family. Almost like qualities which are familiar from the childhood home of the Virgo person is what the partner brings. So Virgos can marry someone who reminds them of their mother or has qualities similar to the environment in their childhood family and home that they grew up in, that makes them feel like safe at home. Uh, and they might be ancestral patterns in family that this partner is helping them work through, of their own ancestry, of their own ancestry tree, that this first marriage partner is helping them work through, and is helping them uh, so there might be also a strong influence of the mother. Even the marriage partner might resemble the mother, the forecast of a Virgo person. I mean, it happens sometimes, or someone from the family, or they can do something similar like how they liked it in their home, in their family. But of course, if you have painful planets in the fourth or in the seventh, like North or South Node, Pluto, Saturn, Mars, or Uranus, that first marriage, can trigger painful childhood memories or make you work through painful things from your childhood. Um, but if there is none, usually there is good healing influence on the ancestral patterns that this partner will help you achieve and carry on the traditions of your family. They will be invested in the traditions of your own family as well. And if there is Virgo reaches to second marriage, that would be Libra energy. This is beautiful energy. So they have to check, is Jupiter better placed planet in their horoscope for the first marriage, or is Venus better placed planet for Virgo rising in their horoscope? Because both Jupiter and Venus are benefic. So first and second marriage can be quite good. If the first one, if Jupiter is not good, or they're painful planets in the seventh, in the fourth, maybe there might be some nice planet here in the second house in Libra. Maybe you have Jupiter there, or maybe you have Venus, or maybe even Saturn in this case, because Saturn is exalted in Libra. But the second marriage can be quite pleasant, very attractive partner. And the same planet that rules the second marriage of Virgo also rules their ninth house, who can be also like a spiritual teacher to them, or who can be foreign influence again, somehow connected to foreign places. Or it can be someone they meet through someone that is well traveled, well educated, because of this ninth house they influence, or who influences a lot the second marriage. Virgo might travel more, a lot more. During first marriage, Virgo rising people might be more homemakers, because of the connection of the seventh with the fourth, stability. While the second marriage, Virgos might be more of travelers, the connection of the second marriage ruler, Venus, with the ninth house is the same planet, the same ruler, Venus, for Virgo, which is, you can open up your mind to study, to explore, and so on. Now, Libra rising. For you, the seventh house is ruled by Aries, or Libra moon to that matter. And not only that, but your second marriage as well is ruled by Mars, the same planet that rules the same planet that rules the first and the second. The Libra is like Aries, can be one of the signs that can break up with someone and then get back together with them, or remarry the same partner. But there is more passion there. It's Aries. It's more like, let's say, argument prone. And but the first partner can be very go-getting, more of Aries qualities, but bossy, of course, and that can bring Libra rising people out of their shells, and they can be the one that is like the engine behind them. But they usually might attract, especially first marriages, long-term relationships in the earlier part of life. They can attract more alpha types, more vigorous, assertive people. They don't have to be Aries, not at all. Just I'm more alpha, more vigorous. Like my husband is Libra rising, both his wives were alpha types. More vigorous, active, full of initiative people. for Libra rising as partners because of this Aries influence. Competitive, for example, they might be athletic or sporty, workout, or they might be just very competitive at business, or they're very like self-propelling. They don't need someone to tell them what to do. They go and do it, and that really draws in Libra. Because Libra sometimes like, should they do this or that? Should they do? And someone who is a go-getter, self-propelling, they'll kind of follow them, and they can feel comfortable at least for some time in this position. But you see, the same planet that rules the seventh house rules the eighth house from the seventh, which means that the eighth house is the self-reinvention of the partner. So maybe someone who goes through crisis reinvents themselves. So especially the first marriage partner can be someone you have more crisis with, that they have crisis, and that affects you. But the first partner also affects your finances. It's the same planet that rules the first partner, rules the second one. And partner who can contribute to the finances, so activate you if you're Libra rising or Libra moon to a second extent. So you often you'd prefer a partner who motivates you and activates you to mobilize your energies to create more resources, to pursue more vigorously finances yourself. So even if you're single and you want to have more money, which is second house, work through the seventh house, which is the same rule as the second house. Maybe partner with someone. Find a counselor or an advisor to advise you about money. Maybe do a business partnership. Or you can get married or have long-term relationships, and that will really impact your finances. That will really make you, and Scorpio can rule a lot of money. So a partner can really help Libra create a lot of money. Scorpio is not little money. And partner can contribute to your finances, can change your financial situation, or activate you, fix your aura. And again, the same applies like to Aries rising. You can fix your teeth, for example. If you have bad luck with relationships, fix your teeth. Second house rule is the same as seventh. Second house rules teeth. That can improve your relationships. If you have no problem with your teeth but still don't have partner, but you do focus on finances, create financial stability yourself, and because your money is the same rule as your partnership, this can generate by the vibration of synchronicity, it can attract the partner as well. And it's not that Libras marry for money, but somehow their relationship, once they're in a relationships, their money and their motivation changes, so the partner impacts their relationship, or through their own money and their self-worth. Work on your self-worth, or change your diet. I can give you a story. My husband met me right after he changed his diet fully. He just became like a vegetarian, started eating super healthy, and so on. And he says, like, I changed my taste palette, which is second house, my food, and I appeared. But of course, Libras can meet people at sunny places, because Aries is your seventh house in sunny place. So I forgot to mention for others where they can meet partners. But I guess that's another thing. Partner, yeah. So that's for Libra. And also Libra's partners, the ruler of the seventh, can be into eighth house things. They might be in something secretive, they might be in confidential information, because that's the eighth from the seventh. So the partner can be someone who works in emergency, in crisis, have some sort of in psychology, in astrology, in the occult, and anything eighth house as well. And second marriage for Libra, second partner can have similar qualities as first. So, or Scorpio, they can be very passionate. Scorpio is extremely passionate energy. I'm not saying that the second partner will be Scorpio, but he can carry, the second relationship can happen even secretively before the first one has finished sometimes, because the seventh and the eighth from the seventh is the same planet, and the 8 is one planet, but usually when it's one, it can mean it's either the same planet or someone similar. But also there is this Scorpio energy that second marriage can be very much about mutual resources a lot. And the other ruler of the second marriage is also the seventh marriage. The same, if we want to look at, how it's different for the second marriage partner, then the other house that rules your second marriage partner is the sixth house. So they can be very invested in their work, but they can, because this is the seventh house, this is the sixth house for them, or they can be very identified with health or disease. Second marriage partner for Libra can have the fortune or misfortune either to be very health conscious, because ruler of the second marriage is the same as the sixth from this, or they can through with the second marriage, or they can have some health issues themselves if Mars is afflicted. But this is again your seventh house, Libra. So for you, second marriage also feels like equal partnerships. It can be, second marriage can be good to do business together. Seventh house, for example. Now, Scorpio rising or Scorpio moon. Immediately we see that Scorpio rising has Taurus in the seventh house. Very calm sign. Very beautiful sign as well. The lucky ones, like Aries rising. So Venus rules their seventh house. So marriage here is about pleasure. They don't get married to make children. They don't get married necessarily to have more stability financially or so on, like some other signs. They don't partner for other emotional security reasons or whatever. They partner because of pleasures. And they're sensual. They partner, normally they have an attractive spouse. If you're Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon, they are always attracted to the opposite sex. It's because Taurus is probably the most sensual sign, so that's their relationship. Charlie Chaplin, look at Charlie Chaplin. Oh, and they have a lot of hidden affairs as well, because the same planet that rules the seventh house rules the 12th. Well, not necessarily. If you see a Scorpio rising, say, are you cheating bastard? Don't think that necessarily. It can mean that they also have private alliances. If they're into business, for example, they might have some secret alliances or business partnerships with foreigners or something like that. Also, Scorpio is more likely to align with someone from abroad or from a different culture or very different, I would say, something that is a bit more taboo, let's say, because the ruler of the 7 is also the ruler of the 12th. Something that's very different, that very normal than your culture. They might be ethnically different, age different. They might have been divorced or married, something, or foreigner. So these people, Scorpios, they can meet their love abroad as well. Ruler of 7 equals to the ruler of the 12. They might be drawn to private romantic hidden affairs. We mentioned that. So it's very good for them as a practice to have a stable relationships, to organize themselves like private getaways in hotels, in foreign countries with their partners, something that's private. Or even the marriage relationship can start hidden and in a private way. This 12th house energy is activated with the ruler of the 7th, committed relationships. So oftentimes, Scorpio really drawn to attractive partners. They always look for something beautiful in their partner. They always find it, but they also would like more private, romantic. It's the more romantic, private affair. 12th house is very romantic, but also is house of role playing. So maybe do some role playing. It's a house of hotels. It's a house of getaways, or it can be house of secret bed pleasures. So, drawn to foreign, or meet their partners privately, hiddenly, or meet them in a hotel or in a foreign country. Yeah, Scorpio is someone who can meet their partner in a hotel or a foreign country. And of course, the ruler of the 7th house, Venus, is the same as the 12th house for Scorpio rising, karmic past life relationship, but usually with good, there's something good, not so much like Taurus rising, because Mars rules the 7th and 12th. So there was some animosity maybe that they have to complete in this lifetime, but still very passionate. While for Scorpio rising, it's Venus that rules the 7th and the 12th. Maybe there were secret lovers in a past lifetime. They couldn't complete the relationships. Maybe there's some, if Venus is in a very good state, soulmate relationships. These people can meet soulmates. And because 12 houses, truly one of your soul group, one you'd first see them in your dream. Scorpio rising, you might first see your wife in your dream, or your partners, your big loves. You might remember them from a past lifetime, but there is something very karmic, something that even memories come to you in this. And if Venus is very hurt, there can be some issues, but they often also will dream for someone unattainable as a partner. They'll pine for someone who is far away, very different, or some kind of hidden, mysterious in a sense. But usually, it's not necessarily indicates divorces or anything. It's very stable, 7th house there, Taurus. But if you happen to have second marriage or marriage-like relationships, say you have a child with another person, or you start living together, you buy a house, mutual finances, you merge everything, even without a marriage. But then that Sagittarius is for you in the 2nd house, Scorpio. This is, again, lovely energy. And the other planet that rules is your second marriage. The same planet is Jupiter, which rules also your 5th house. So it's someone that you can create children with, or someone that you're very in love with, 5th house. It activates your 5th house. And for the partner, it activates their 4th house. So second marriage partner can be very invested. Sorry, it activates their 10th house, very more invested in social status, stability, career. But yeah, for you in particular, second marriage partner, if Jupiter is, it's more connected either to children, to romance. But even the first one is sensual, but there is more like spiritual affinity with the second marriage partner. Is not as sensual, the second marriage, as the first, but it's very open-minded, and it kind of feels healing for the soul. Okay. If you're Sagittarius rising or moon, your 7th house is Gemini. And Gemini is multilingual, maybe even foreign. Again, this is a sign who is more likely to have someone foreign or multilingual spouse, or spouse even. They don't have to be from far away, but it's someone with diverse language, lots of knowledge. This is Gemini. And the basis of sexual attraction for Sagittarius rising to their partner is conversation. It's conversation. By the way, Gemini is a very sexual sign. In ancient Vedic astrology, it was represented by a man and a woman. That's actually the card of the lovers in tarot. This is the most sexual sign. Not physically as sensual as Taurus. Taurus is sensual. This is sexual, but what the basis of the sexual stimulation is the conversation and the mind. They often, Sagittarius rising, would be attracted to younger partners. You'd see them couple, either someone who is younger or very youthful in their behaviors, in their appearance. And of course, Gemini is, youthful. But you see, the same planet that rules the 7th house for Sagittarius rising also rules the 10th house for Sagittarius rising. So Mercury rules the 7th and the 10th house. So somehow, once Sagittarius marry, their social status can increase. Somehow their partner can help them grow in their career, or they can find their partner in their career. Or their partner might be their boss or some authority figure, someone with a higher social status. Or their partner, they can meet the partner through their career. Or once, another way it can get triggered, we don't know whether the 7th house gets triggered first or the 7th or the 10th. If you don't have an established career, or and you first get married, your career will take off or be very strongly influenced by your partner somehow. Very strongly influenced. Sometimes, usually for best, but sometimes it can be. But the very strongly big change will happen with your career and social status once you get married. Or if you first focused on your career, but you don't have partnership, somehow your career, focusing there and building it, will attract to you a younger, more youthful partner who will, again, who through the career will come to you. But also the partner will be focused on home and family, because is the fourth house from the seventh that Mercury rules for them. So they'll be family focused, uh, and you might get married. Your partner might want to get married because of creating family. But also another advice for you as Sagittarius rising is that you can grow the most in career through collaborations, through partnerships. The same planet rules partnerships. And I don't necessarily mean married, but business partnerships, equal partnership with someone, rather than trying to do things alone. Or you can find someone like a promoter, an agent, or like, who can push your career for you. And Sagittarius, you can marry up as well. And if there is a second marriage, that's ruled now by Capricorn. The 8th from the 7th is Capricorn. So now, if there is that, there can be someone older or age difference again. Usually the first might be younger, the second might be. I still have a friend, Sagittarius rising, who is 44. She's never been married. She's had boyfriends here and there, lived with one for 2 years, but we don't consider that marriage. But she's always like, everyone she attracts, it still keeps coming from the seventh house. Always guys 20 years younger than her, 15 years younger. It's not always the case, but then I have another Sagittarius friend. First marriage partner, someone in high social position, but he was foreign, multilingual, but they separated. Second marriage partner, he was 24 years older than her. They're still together. Usually, if they reach to second marriage, they might not even want a second marriage after that. But if they get to it, it might be quite long lasting, or some age difference, this Capricorn, and that might be more for security, for more stability. And it will be connected to the financial security of the partner, because the ruler of the second from the second, so the second partner's resources is the same planet. Second marriage, they can marry, or marriage-like relationship can be because the partner is more invested financially, and he might be very strongly connected with his family in some way, and more stability there. Well, the second marriage partner can also activate for Sagittarius rising or moon there, third house. Again, there is a basis there for communication, more like a friendship, maybe travels together. And if there is a third marriage, then that would be the 8th that would be a 9th house. Sagittarius, Leo, that can be drama, love, passion, over the top. That's like very Leo, but a bit egocentric, but you always have fun, but it can be, center of the world person. While the second one is more subdued, down to earth. The small Capricornian core. They don't have to be Capricorn, but Now, if you're Capricorn rising, or moon to that extent, Cancer will rule your seventh house. And Cancer, the moon rules no other house. You see, it rules no other sign. So Capricorns, together with Aquarius rising, are the two signs that don't usually have combinations between the ruler of the seventh. Is not the same as another. But for them, Capricorn rising, I have seen that, and we should do this for the other signs as well another time. But let's first focus Cancer on the seventh house. Spouse partner can carry remarkable similarity to one's mother. Okay. Or the spouse might be someone that creates similar environment as the mother, or say if the mom was very ambitious, they might prefer very ambitious partner. If the mom was telling them you have to marry up, or if the mom was saying marry someone who has good degree, or if the mom was saying, the mom kind of has strong impact on their first marriage, on their on partnerships overall. And the spouse often will be chosen to provide nurturing, caring, the considerate things, to be a caregiver, to maybe take care of the family, even for women, or to be family oriented, uh, or to create kind of nurturing, emotional nurturing for the Capricorn rising person, who is usually focused on some goal, who is usually focused on climbing some ladder. Um, but usually they'll be drawn, and you'd see like parental kind of partner that they attract. And the partner can be carer, nurturing parent, or in a woman's chart, the partner can be involved, for example, in Cancerian careers, like can be involved in hotels, in real estate, in can be seafaring, can be involved in shipping or something to do with oceans or defense. Cancer is defense, something in the defense, police or something. Or can be in schooling, guardianships, all of those things are Cancerian, lands. Uh, and usually family interests dominate the marriage. But let's look at something else that also determines the marriage for Capricorns. It's the sign Libra. We always should look where it's in the sign. And I specifically for Capricorns and Aquarius, who also have just one planet, just one house ruled by the same planet as the seventh house. Libra, so Capricorns also look for social status through their relationships. Libra is the sign of relationships. It's in the 10th house. Capricorn will want someone who upholds their social status, someone who affects it, And if it comes, usually it's not, and there'll be ebbs and flows in their marriage, because Cancer is a changeable sign. Ebbs and flows, but rhythmical. They'll know like, okay, now we might be distant, but after that we'll come back close. And they have like almost like seasonal program with them. The winter we go to St. Moritz, the summer we go to the seaside and Saint Tropez, whatever, kind of, or we go to this village and we have in the mountains. But there's this rhythmical, it's changing and dynamic, their marriage, but it's always repeating in cycles. Or they know like things are bad now, but they come back good again, and so on. And if there is a second marriage, of course, there's Aquarius energy there. This second partner, because Aquarius is ruled by the same planet as Saturn, we use traditional astrology, and it's very powerful. The second marriage partner can be more similar to the native, the Capricorn native. And they can be, let's say, more similar as their status in some way, because of this, the same planet rules them. And they can also, it activates the first house, the second, they can be like, even look similar. Well, the first partner might be more like the mother. The second partner might help this native to find out more of who they really are, because the same planet rules their first house, almost like they're seeing seeing themselves in the other partner, if I can, or identifying in a similar way. Okay, and then the next sign is Aquarius. Aquarius have Leo in the 7th house and no other planet. Leo, the sun rules no other house in the horoscope of Aquarians. So we really focus here if there is no planet in Leo, of course. Like I'm Aquarius rising, but I have the moon in Leo. So I'm definitely much more like Cancer in the 7th house. I'm attracted to all my husband, nurturer, carers, family oriented, but still, if you just predominantly, it's the 7th house is Leo, you can notice with Aquarians that they get married to someone who might be, especially the first marriage partner, more in the spotlight, someone who is more, and that's a bit of a difficult position because Leo is the most idealized sign. So they want like only the best. They would want only, they would expect the partner to be some kind of immortal god or goddess, that they don't go to toilet, that they don't burp. Leo is the most idealized sign. It's not Pisces. Leo is, you're made out of gold. Your pee is golden, everything. And you kind of have such expectations from your partner when you Aquarius rising. Aquarius moon to lesser degree, but again, and oftentimes They would be happiest with someone who truly is some kind of a local celebrity or stands out for something. They're either very stunning, something, Leo is to attract attention. They might be very stunning, or they might be very bright in some sphere. They might be the best at something. But definitely, they might be like, when I was at high school, I was always in love with the loudest, most attractive guy, the most popular, the cliche. But Leo, the most popular, the most known. And Aquarius rising can also marry someone like that. But unfortunately, sometimes, especially if the sun is not in very good condition or with difficult planets, the ruler of the seventh house can be someone who is more egotistical, who always wants affirmations that they're the best, and you have to be like someone in the background for them that is arranging their life. And often Aquarian rising can withdraw from their partners, can become more aloof, like a proper Aquarius does. Uh, but also, because of this powerful energy of Leo, Aquarius rising can be really helped in their life, because Leo is like an engine perpetuum mobile, that its energy never dies. Constant energy, constant flow, like the life-giving sun. So Aquarius rising people often are drawn to bind either with famous people with those qualities of exuberance and generosity, and because they're almost like a promoters for them, the others, the partners, business partners or whatever. And Aquarius rising people, Aquarius moon can be the star makers. They can make other stars. The seventh house is in Leo. And others can also help them, kind of star quality people can help them ahead. But yes, they can be disappointed. That's actually, according statistically, it's one of the most divorced ascendant signs and moon signs, because you see that they want to idealize the partner, those Leo qualities, and unless they marry someone famous, they can end up like getting this. They realize this person is just a human being, so they're very married sometimes, more than one marriages, till they, when one idol falls from the pedestal of glamour of the Leo, and they're like, oh, they're just human being, and they go to because Leo is to fall in love, and they go in relationships because they fall in love. They can't go in a relationship just like that. They need to be in love. This will kill them. They cannot make themselves be in a relationship. And that's also another problem, because relationships are not just, they're there usually to do some goal together, whatever. To be there in the difficult times, they're there for the good times with this Leo. And when it comes to relationships, so sometimes that can be, even though it's a fixed sign, but that can be a bit more, challenging position, I would say. Infatuation with romantic, idealized image of the partner. They can be attracted to ego-driven personality, state center stage. Will marry a confident, fashionable, noticeable partner. Usually that's what they're attracted to, the best at something. Expectations, trophy partners as well. All right. But at the same time, we look at the planet, the sign that is relationship sign. So it's Libra, and it's in the ninth house. Ninth house is foreign places, or erudite, intellectuals, so people, with high kind of usually foreigners. So also Aquarians can meet partners or be attracted to foreigners, because Libra, the partnership sign, is in the very international ninth house. It's very important for Aquarius to have a happy marriage, to have a partner who's their belief. For anyone it's very important, that's for Aquarius rising, because for them, Libra, the partnership sign, is in the ninth house. If they're in a relationship with someone, they don't have the same belief systems, it can be a breakup, Well, if they're in a relationship where the belief systems align, or they travel together, ninth house, or they have similar worldviews, this is very important. And that will strengthen the relationships of Aquarius rising or moon people. And some kind of a teacher relationship there as well, with this ninth house teacher, They want to be inspired and learn from the partner. But otherwise, they should marry someone very ideal. If they manage Aquarius rising to marry someone ideal that they can idealize for life, wow, they're always in love, they're always happy. If not, there is next marriage. It's Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. Second marriage can be quite Jupiterian for them. And the same, this Jupiter also rules their 11th house. It can be a friendship, a good friendship, or through a friend they can meet, or that the second marriage can really change their social kind of social environment, who their friends are, or they can meet it through friends. But somehow also the popularity or social status, in a sense, the social environment, not status, is very strongly impacted by the second marriage. And because it's a Jupiterian ruled marriage, often the belief systems are aligned. Often it's might be even foreign influence there again, or they can be an influence of expansion, open-mindedness, very friendly attitude with each other, very non-judgmental, because this is the Jupiterian energy. And it can be also something secretive about second marriage, because it's Pisces after all on the second marriage. And then if there is third marriage, because I said Aquarius rising or moon can be very married sign, or very multiple long-term relationships. It goes to the ninth house, the third partner. It's Libra there. If they have a good Venus, well, Libra, beautiful. Someone very attractive. My husband is my third marriage. He's Libra rising, very attractive. And very actually everything. And Libra also is ruled by, so third marriage can be very much about family creation, because Venus rules the seventh. The second marriage can be more about friends, social interactions, so second long-term relationships where it's important. Third marriage can be very much connected about creating family, property, real estate, because the planet that rules the third marriage also rules the fourth marriage, most stable, kind of family-oriented energy. There's a lot of attractiveness there for third marriages for Aquarius. And we're not going to go to fourth, but let's go to Pisces. Pisces rising or moon, they have Virgo in the seventh house. Definitely someone who will organize their life, who will be down to earth, more practical, who notice, who'd structure and organize their life a bit better, and who notice the details more. Pisces will be the spiritual dreamy influence, and their partner will be the grounding influence. But usually, because it's Mercury ruled Virgo, it's not known about discord much or negativity, unless Mercury is very hurt in the horoscope. And Virgo also rules their fourth house. So Pisces, especially the first marriage, can be about starting a family. They can remind them of the parent as well, of the family, of the mother, or of the early childhood environment. The first marriage partner can also recreate something from the early childhood environment, and help the person repeat those lessons and have some realizations. And there will be also very conversational relationships in marriage, because of Mercury ruling seventh and fourth house. And also the partner, they can be very focused on raising children, parenthood, real estate. Say Virgo rising is single, but they get a nice house and they make a nice house. Immediately the ruler of the fourth house activates the seventh house as well, because it's the same ruler. So then they can attract a partner to them. If they have a nice house or a nice home, or they can, or the opposite way, they can meet a partner and then they can really have nice real estates after that, because the same ruler, the partner can come and live with them, or they can build a home together. The rule of the seventh and the fourth are the same. Plus, from the seventh house, the ruler of the seventh, it is the same as the ruler of the partner is the same as the 10th house ruler. So this will be someone, Pisces Mary, who is more invested in their work, in their career, more invested in their aspirations there, the 10th house. Not in the Piscean person, but the partner is invested in those things, but also has resemblance and family oriented because it triggers the native 4th house, and as I said, some family patterns, like the mother or someone like that. And if there is a second marriage for Pisces, that will be Aries energy. The 8th from the 7th is Aries. And the second marriage will be much more dynamic. It can be more alpha partner, leader type of partner. Can be a foreign partner as well, because Mars also rules the 9th house for Pisces. They can meet them abroad or from a different state or at university or because of some educational thing. And this second partner is not so much about homestead and family, and they're not going to affect their property and real estate so much. With the second partner, the Piscean rising person, they might travel, they have to have similar belief systems. They will have similar belief system. What you will unite them will be similar belief system, worldview, and they might argue about such things because Mars is, after all, Mars is a bit more steamy, intense planet, but there's more this energy of foreign travel. And well, the second partner will have a lot more perturbations and transformations. Their life is not steady, more like the first marriage partner. Maybe their second marriage partner, if they have such, their life is the constant transformations and the second marriage partner is like transforms themselves, because the same planet that rules the second marriage partner rules the 8th house from the second marriage partner. Transformations, crisis, but they keep reinventing themselves, the second marriage partner. And they might do this through trips, through high education, that it involves you in that. So with the second marriage partner, there is more this teacher energy about them, that one of them is the teacher expanding the mind of the other, and so on, mutual belief systems, and so on. And there you go. I don't know. That was a lot of information, but you can take some easy pointers here. Like Leos can meet their partner, their work more likely than another person, or it can be someone who works for them. Or, for example, Pisces, Virgo are more likely to marry someone who has foreign energy because of Pisces, since the 7th house, but also who is very invested in their career, because the same planet that rules their partner rules the 10th house of the partner as well. This kind of snippets you have to remember. Aries are more likely to marry a more attractive partner that affects their finances very strongly, and there can be some financial threat there because of the reason of marriage and security reasons as well. Scorpio can marry some of the most sensual partners, but with influences from abroad, or even karmic influences from past lifetime, because the same planet that rules the 7th rules the 12th. So a lot of such interesting insights here. You might have to be coming back to this video many times.